All right, so we're gonna go through on part 1A part C. And we're gonna do number 2 together really quick, just setting up the table, making sure we're good and understanding that we're not putting in if it doesn't have an X and a Y, it does not go in our table, okay? So I'm gonna add my table and I'm gonna put in the values that I have. I'm gonna have a value for 25, value for 29. Because I don't want to have to type these, I'm going to write them all and then go back and delete what I don't have. It's called being lazy. It allows me to. Computer don't want me to be great, y'all. Should have started it off. I'm determined. So we have 25, 27, 29, yes. And I'm going to go back and delete the ones I don't need. And I'm going to pause so I can. All right, so remember I told you I was going to be lazy? I'm just going to go back and delete what I don't need. So I do not need 27. And I do not need, what else did I not need? 45? I think. I'll see the rest as I go. All right, 25 is 11. 29, I have 17. 31, I have 20. 33, I have 25. 35, I don't have. 37 is 35. 39, I do not have. 41 is 48. 48. 43 is 55. 47 is 73. And 49 is 85. All right. So again, I'm going to adjust my window. I don't like toggling, so I go over here. On my domain, it goes up. I'm just going to put it at 50. I may even go to 55. Why not? 55. Count by 5s for all I care. No, let's count by 2s. And then on my Y, I'm going to go up to 90. Why not? And it can also. All right. So as I look at this, I can see that there is some type of curve happening. Do you see that curve? So because there is a curve to the function, that leads me to think that it could be a quadratic. So I'm going to come create my quadratic model. Y1 tilde ax1 shift 6 squared plus bx1 plus c. On my r squared value is 99.9. Looking at my residual points, they're all pretty close on the, I can zoom in, all pretty close on the positive x-axis. So this is a fairly good model of what's taking place. Does that make sense? By all accounts. So my equation here would be approximately y equals, I didn't have to write y equals, but a is, I'm going to round to the nearest 3 decimal places. 0.0, yes.
I'm saying it's not letting me graph with the thing.
I don't know what the thing is, so I'll have to come and look.
Why? It's not what that's not doing anything.
I would have to come and look and see what you did. 4, 6, 8, 0, 7. I always forget that I can just copy the values. And I never remember, just copy the values, Shona. It's on a computer. You're right, computer. Just copy and paste. And then you don't make any mistakes. Doy. All right, so there's my function. There's my graph. There's my values. And now there's missing values in my table, right? So my missing values, because I typed this in, I'm going to click on it and I can click on the tool, look at the graph, and I can type in the missing value. So I need to know what is the value of 27. And there's my value for 27. I needed to know the value of 45. And there's my value for 45. So those are the two missing X values, right? Now, the problem is, what about the Y values? Y values are a little trickier. So to use technology, I told you not to pinpoint. So Y's are a little trickier. X's, I can utilize a table and find those values. Y's, I actually am going to have to use a point of intersection to find those values. So it's asking, when does your Y value equal 30? So if we look back at our table, notice it says what's 30 and 41. Those are my Y's. Do we see that? So in order to find those, you're actually going to have to look for an intersection. So we've already found 27, 45, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? To find your Y's, you're going to say Y equals 30. You're asking, when does Y equal 30? Does that make sense? And it's going to tell you Y equals 30 here and Y equals 30 here. Out of these values, which one applies to my data? The 35. So the 35.3 is the one that applies to my data. Make sense? So then therefore the missing value would be 35.328. So when I go back to my table at 30, it would be 30. Oh, it would be 35.328. Make sense? So the same thing is going to happen when I need to find 41. I'm going to change that 30. I'm going to change it to 41. And again, which one of these values apply to my situation? This one or this one? This one. So this is at 38.958. So for here, it was at 38.958. Okay, so do we see the difference between having to solve for an X and looking for a Y and looking for an X? When you're looking for your X, you can use the table. I can use table, right? When I'm looking for the Y, I have to let Y equals, and I'm looking for where it equals. Make sense? That is our end of Unit 1A. All is done. Dun, dun, dun. You survived.